So 2 years ago, I converted my 300ZX over to flex fuel. We don't have any E85 stations close to me. It's about 55 minutes away to get to one. So for me, I go out with a 55-gallon drum and I fill it up. It lasts me about a month. I always get asked, how do I get the E85 out of this barrel? What I had been doing was just using an in-tank pump and dropping it down the 2-inch hole here. Didn't really like that setup. I'm going to use this external pump that I got on Amazon, real cheap, 30 bucks. Would never use something like this for a car, but for a barrel pump, which you'll see about 10 minutes of use a week, it should be fine. I guess we'll find out. My only concern is, will this pump have enough pickup to actually pull the fluid out of the tank when the tank is low? So for the pickup tube for the barrel, it's a piece of 3/8 brake line that goes to a brass adapter, and this is a 3/4 to 1/2 inch bushing, and I took a pipe tap, put the rest of the threads all the way through it, stuck a 1/2 inch to 3/8 bushing in there, and then machined it down on a lathe so that way I could get this into the barrel. And then that will go to a 10 AN fitting going to the pump. This is all kind of stuff that I've just had kicking around for the most part, besides the pump. So I'm using fittings that I've had from other projects. I'm using Loctite on the threads for sealant. It should be sufficient. I guess we'll find that out too. I put together all of this a little while ago just to make it easier. I've never done an external setup like this, so I don't exactly know how it's going to go. But this should be a lot more efficient than what I was doing. I'm going to put some more Loctite on that. It's going down farther than I thought it was going to. Good. This hose is an old coolant hose I had on the car. It's been pressure tested before, so it should be fine. That's screwed into here. I'm hoping this works out with what I have, so that way I don't have to make a new one. Let's do this way. In the corner. Boy, that looks like it's going to work out pretty good. So Amazon's site said this pump will flow, I think it was 320 gallons per hour. But with a lot of these cheap pumps, can't really trust what they say. Let's get a hose barb fitting. I happen to have a box full of extras from all my high-end projects over the years. Don't have one in there, but I do have one. So with the old setup, I was taking the pump in and out of the barrel every time I needed to fill, which would have been about once a week. So I'm hoping this way I can just leave everything hooked up if I don't have any leaks. And then when I go to fill the barrel, I can just cap off this end here and leave the dip tube into the barrel. Alright, I got this hose on there. I had to go over to the vise and get that pushed in there. It's way too hard to do it by hand. Alright, tighten this one down. I'm not too worried about scratching any of this, as it's not going to be for show. Alright, so from here I'm going to go to this ball valve. I wanted rubber on the line so that way it was still flexible. Put some hose clamps onto this. The biggest thing with the E85 is keeping it sealed. If you can keep it sealed, you won't get water in it and it will stay fresh. So there we go. This is just brake line and some fittings. I had all of that here, so I didn't have the correct hose barbs for that, so I just threw that together. Should work fine. It's not under any pressure, it's just meant to flow some fuel. And then for the tube that goes into the gas tank, I just use this airline. I've been using it for 2 years now and it hasn't deteriorated. It's hard plastic. The stuff sucks in the wintertime, but I only use this barrel in the summer, so I'm gonna connect this. We'll get some more. I got some hose clamps right here. Connect this to the other side. And then actually I'll be able to put some power to this and see if it's gonna work. Alright, so there it is. Fuel comes up here, goes to the intake of the pump, comes out here, goes to this ball valve, and then out this hose. My car is sitting right here. The fuel door is right there, so all I gotta do is pull into the garage and then be able to fill the car up. So I'm gonna turn the camera off for a few minutes. I'm gonna make a power cord for this, and then we'll grab a battery and see how well this is gonna work. So I got the wiring harness put onto the pump. I've got a fuse on the positive side on the other end next to the battery pack. So I'm going to open up this port right here, and then I'm going to put the hose into there just to make sure the pump is working before I put anything into my car. I know fuel's getting up to the top. When I took the pump off to put the wiring on, I pushed down on the barrel and a bunch of fuel came out of the top here. So it's a good sign. I haven't seen any leaks, but we will find out real quick. So we'll get this out of here. And grab the hose. Make sure we open up the ball valve. So get that out of the way. Then connect. So it is flowing, and it is flowing rather well, actually. All right, that doesn't look too bad. So get a little bit more of this hose drained out. So I'll open up the gas tank on my car and pump some in. Right now we got about a quarter of a tank. So when you're pumping this barrel out, you need to make sure that this is loose to get barrel or air into the top of the barrel. If you don't, you will collapse these. It will suck them right flat. So let's go grab the key to my car and get into the gas tank real quick. All right, so just take this end. We'll stick that. Let's see if I can do this. So put that right in there, and then we'll just get power to the barrel. Now, with the other pump, I had timed it out, and I knew from like a quarter of a tank how long it took to get it up to close to full. This pump, I don't know how much it actually flows, so it's going to be trial and error for the first fill up or two. But I'll let it run for a minute. Just put some fuel in. We got to open this up. I don't know if you can hear, this pump is super loud. I don't think I would ever trust this on a car, especially not being, you know, it's a $35 pump off Amazon. It's cheap. But for a barrel pump, I'm thinking it's going to work out quite nicely. This connection probably doesn't need a hose clamp, so I'll put one on it anyways. It's on there extremely tight. I don't think we could ever pull that off. I have to get a bigger hose clamp. That's not gonna work. But yeah, that's all there is to it. I'll give an update on this, on how it actually works when the barrel has less fuel in it. I'm hoping that the tube stays full of fuel and I don't have to worry about it trying to reprime itself. It's about 3 feet up, so it's a long ways for this pump to try to pull up fuel. But I'm hoping this works out better than what I had been doing already. It is better. One last thing I'm going to need to check is, after this barrel's been sitting for a while, to make sure that the barrel pressurizes and that these connections, specifically this one here, are completely sealed. And if they're not, I'll have to find a gasoline safe sealant that I can use. But I think it's going to work out pretty good. All right, thanks for watching. All right, so I came back out in the garage real quick. It's been a few hours, and this barrel is completely hard with pressure. There's no leaks. Everything is dry. So this should work out pretty good.